Okay, class. So we've been learning about the 3 branches of government, and we worked together and we built this anchor chart about the national level of government. And we decided yesterday by voting that we would create a poster for our 3 branches of government on the state level. So today, let's go over our learning target. Let's read this together. Identify and explain the functions of the 3 branches of Missouri's government. So there's a couple words here that it's important that we know what they mean. So what does identify mean? And Brooks, what does identify mean? Okay, to look at it, first you've got to find it, right? So we've got to be able to identify it, name it, and then we're going to have to do some explaining with that too. What's explain mean? Audrey? Okay, so we're going to tell about the 3 branches. And more specifically, we're going to tell about this word functions. What does functions mean? Cecilia? Okay, it's both the way it works and Avery. That's kind of go with identify a little bit. Yes. What it actually does. So we have to name the 3 branches, and we have to explain some things about them that shows that we know what the branches are responsible for, what they do. And today we're going to use success criteria to do that. And success criteria means how can I prove that I can identify and explain the functions of the 3 branches of Missouri's government. We often say in this class, organization is
the key to success.
Okay, so our anchor charts and our success criteria are ways for us to organize both what we know and what we're learning and where we're going. How do we prove that we know it? So when we're making our next anchor chart on the state level, what things do we have to put on it that show we're successful in our learning, that show that we did learn this? So what things should I show? I'm going to put, I can make a poster. To show my learning. And now we're going to tell, what do we have to have on that poster? Here's a little checklist going. What am I going to put on my poster that says, I know these things? Okay, so what's one thing you think we have to have, Lauren? Okay, one thing. So what are the branches? You said who, I'm going to use the word what. What are the branches? And she already named one. We know we need 3. We need 3 branches. What are the 3 branches? Okay, so my poster is going to show that. Now somebody else take me farther. What else do we have to have, Natalie? Okay, so label each of them. And what could we include in that label? So she says we need to label them. What might we include in the label, or how could we label them? Remember, I printed off a lot of photos too of the people in our different branches. Yes. We're going to do that as another, that is going to be another one. So yes, Brooks. Say that again. I guess I'm lost with what you mean by that. How are we going to label our branches? Okay, and what could we give that, you know, like anchor charts kind of give you a picture of it. So what could you do on your poster that gives us a little picture for our brain to remember what that branch is? Yes. How could I show that though? Am I just going to write the words? Is that what you want? I mean, if you want to just write the words, you could do that, but what else could you do? Yes, Chase? You could draw a picture, and we have symbols in the US government, right? But we also have locations. So could we use those pictures to show we know where these places are? So we could do that, but so we're going to label with words and pictures. You could use the photos that we had, you could use your drawings, you can decide how to label it. But I'd like it to be both words and pictures. Okay, so what else do we need? We've named it. We know that we have the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Now, I haven't said anything that explains what they do. So what else do I need on this poster? Caroline. Oh, so she's getting more, you're going towards the powers that they have? Okay, so we need to name the power that they have. Name their power. Oops, I got that a little close. Let me space that out more. Their powers and duties. Name their powers and their duties. What's a duty? Lauren. Okay, so we're going to name what they have control over and what their jobs are. Okay, and we used this symbol earlier. Who remembers what this symbol is? Eva, what is that? Okay, it's a measurement, and it when we are in the kitchen, you don't usually see these nowadays, but if you were at an old-time grocery store, you would see them maybe pour flour on one side and have a weight on the other, and if it was equal, then they knew they had exactly 1 pound of flour. So we use the symbol to weigh what though? Audrey? Okay, so things are fair, and yes, that all the power is equal. So we want to talk about the checks and balances. So tell how each branch checks or balances with the other branch, because we know that what's one of the powers that the executive branch has. Yes, Audrey. Not to change laws. Yes. To veto a law. They can say, no, that one's not going to happen. So that's one of the powers that branch has. What's a power that a different branch has? Yes, Addison? What's a power that another branch has that can check or stop one of the others so they don't have too much? Did you forget? Yeah. Okay, Caroline. Well, that's the governor vetoing something. That's him. He's saying, no, you can't make that law, Leah. Okay, so one of them can make laws and the other one can veto a law, but what's one that the legislative branch maybe does that can stop something or check something? Yes, Brooks. Yeah, they can do impeachment. They can remove a president from office. So we're going to have to talk about how each branch checks, 4 balances, whoops, balances, another branch. And Leah was right, this keeps the power fair so that no one has too much power over someone else. So we're going to check to see that these things are there. Why don't we use this to tell if we did that on this chart? So on this chart, did we label the 3 branches? Do we have the 3 branches listed?
Yes.
Okay. And can someone tell me what the label for the judicial branch, what is it called on the national level? Yes, the Supreme Court. So then on the legislative branch, who are members of the legislative branch? Excuse me, Caroline. And Natalie. Okay, both of those. And then who in the national level, who is the leader of the executive branch? Audrey? We're talking about the national level in the poster we already did. Eli, who's the leader on the national level of our government? Do you remember, Chase? Who's our leader right now? The president, okay? And when you know the name of them, we really want that label to be specific. We didn't put Trump's name on here, but when we get to our poster, I think it would be important that we actually name them. Who's our vice president? And Avery, do you know who our vice president is? You forgot his name, Lauren? Yes, Mike Pence is our vice president. The election hasn't been decided. We don't know who for sure it is. Kind of looks like it's going to be President Biden and Vice President Harris, but we shall see soon, I hope. Okay, so we're going to use this example. We're going to do the things that we said. We're going to go ahead and list these things and check them off when we're making our posters. And I think our first step is going to be that each of you, I'm going to give you a small one. And you're going to draw your executive branch and your legislative and your judicial. It can be a symbol, it can be a photo. I'll have photos available. And then you're going to label it individually. And then when you get into your groups, you can use each other's to make sure that you didn't leave anything off, okay? And then you'll have some really cool posters that we'll get to share with the school by hanging in the hallway. So you guys have got this. Say, I've got it.
I got it.
And we still are learning about it, so if you have questions as we go along, we're going to answer those questions on our posters. Okay, thank you guys.